Dr. Manny from Break the Cage MD. This is video 25 of 50. This is the second part of the what I call the IS series. The first part was focused on entrepreneurship is. In the second part, what I've done is gone back and done a reframing exercise to take the same ideas that we looked at in the entrepreneurship series and look at them through the lens of the digital publishing is series. Later on, we'll look at and this will probably be after the series, we'll take a look at how other fields can also be reframed into that same framework, into that same set of schema. I'll get into that much later, but it ties in. I bring that up because for number 25, digital publishing is science. It's science because we're in a time now when you don't just put out a book and have your fingers crossed and wait to hear back from the publisher. Nowadays, you're in direct contact with your audience. You're publishing in real time. You have, if you're publishing on YouTube, you have analytics on YouTube because YouTube and Google Plus are the same thing. If you're publishing on your blog, you have analytics on your blog. If you're publishing on Facebook and you're using a Facebook business page, you have analytics there as well. Facebook analytics. By and large, well, specifically on your site, if you're publishing on your own blog, say using WordPress, you can tell where your people are coming from. You can tell what parts of your conversation, what part of your story is bringing them in. And taking even further, Google allows you to understand the archetypes, which is the way I like to think of archetypes. And there's a ton of stuff on the Break the Cage MD site where John Keldon and I did some like 16 hours of video on archetypes and mythology and how they interact with the psyche. And we're doing the Journey to Collective Leadership, Katrina, Andy, and I, which also digs into your core hero's journey, the monomyth. But going back, what it comes down to is that with an understanding of mythology and how mythology affects people, archetypes and how they affect people, you combine that with statistical inference, which is looking at factor analysis, where we do like cluster analysis, and you get an idea of what kind of people, what kind of values you're attracting with the signal that you're putting out. Not only that, as soon as you tweet something, as soon as you push something to Facebook, push it to LinkedIn, you'll get that immediate response. You can tell who is resharing your stuff, and that's become a whole science. And in some cases, you're talking memetics, you're talking semiotics. You're looking at the science of how things go viral, how things move people, what things, when they get to your site, what they click on, when they click, what converts them to sign on your mailing list, when they're on your mailing list, which emails, and emailing is digiting, email newsletters and even email autoresponder series, which are series that you create and they become your own asset to your audience. All those are forms of digital publishing, and all those are also measured, and all those also get you instant performance. Everything from who opens, which headlines get you open, your emails opened, which how far along people read in each email. So with all that, you're looking at the kind of situation where you pretty immediately know how you're doing with each communication you send out. You get feedback, you get comments, and taken to another level, all that stuff is mined, and you're able to find what's what in breakthrough advertising they call the mass desire, the collective desire, what people want to hear about, how they feel about events, and you use that to find where you're most relevant, where you belong, where, and this is, yeah, they're flying over. You use that to identify. I like to use the model of ugly duckling versus swan, and I like to tell my clients, go where you feel beautiful, go where you're beautiful, because if you're somewhere and your message does not resonate, we no longer have the geographical, cultural, and like geographical tribal boundaries we used to have at one point in time. Now you're able to, as long as you can imagine yourself into another place, you're able to find that audience. So it becomes more a matter of finding out who you are, digging inside, and then projecting that signal clearly so that you attract the tribe around yourself using the science. Now, from there, tomorrow's topic is going to be digital publishing as art, because it's the art of figuring out what's unique about you and positioning that for the right audience at the right price, right frequency of delivery, right tone, your personal voice, um, the parts of your story that are most you. All those elements, those become the art of it. But you begin with the science. The science of digital publishing is the science of relevance. And if you look at the earliest stuff, it's the science of kairos, which is the science of timing. Mythos, understanding the story of the culture that you're in. Ethos, resonating and having the decorum to fit into that culture. Pathos, resonating emotionally. And logos, communicating in a logical structure that fits what they call the epistemology of the culture that you've jumped into. So logic is different in each culture. And I teach that in the Break the Cage MD course, how to step out of the cultural role of doctor and see how to communicate best so that you can resonate with people who want to buy different aspects of you. So that's identity theory science. So all geek. Digital publishing is science. Break the Cage MD.